Paul Taylor, 1930 to present. Taylor's lineage: he was born in Pennsylvania in 1930, and he's considered to be the last living artist from the second generation of modern dancers. He kind of bridged between the second and third generation because he's still basically around making all kinds of new work. He begins his studies at Syracuse University in the late 40s and transfers to Juilliard School, where he earns a BS in dance in 1953. He's seen dancing by Martha Graham in 1955, and she offers him a job. He continues to dance as a soloist for her company for the first 7 seasons. Taylor is famous for using shocking subject matter throughout the decades. In the 50s, he begins creating his own works. Graham refers to him as a naughty boy of modern dance because he starts breaking away from her as well as the technique. As her technique. In the 60s, he has the audacity to use incredibly very old 200-year-old classical music and combines it with very tribal movement. In the 1970s, he makes pieces that deal with very difficult taboo subjects such as dysfunctional families and incest. In the 1980s, his pieces continue to challenge the status quo. He takes on subject matter such as the military and the relationship of soldiers, who's sending them into war. And then in the 1990s, he takes on religion, blind conformity, and even the subject of death. This is a picture, an image of a famous piece of his called Esplanade. He elevates use of pedestrian ideas and gestures. His piece called Esplanade gained its inspiration while he was watching a woman running to catch a bus. And the following picture that you'll see is a piece called Promethean Fire, and it deals with everyone's basic human reaction to the 9/11 bombings in New York City, just outside his studio. And this is a picture of human carnage, really. There's a typo in this. It's Promethean with an E. Influences. Despite his rebellion away from Graham as a technique, it's still visible in the way he deals with the torso and the arm placement. His own difficult family relationships can be seen in many of his pieces in abstract ways, the way in terms of the way his dancers connect or fail to connect with each other in very deep ways, even in their contact work. This image is a very typical Paul Taylor type torso treatment. He's balancing on the one leg. He takes the torso into lateral flexion and oftentimes counterbalances that with either his arms or, in this case, another body. And this is a picture showing the types of leaning runs that he tends to use in many of his pieces.